So welcome all to day 11 reflection. This is my another favorite artwork. It's the most brightest one of all the series and the class projects that we have done so far. And I think it is the most easiest one and the quickest. So this can be done around 15 minutes of time. And it only needs couple of colors. It needs your red, orange, yellow, green, and some blues. So let's get right into it. Let's start. So we're gonna start by wetting the whole paper, right? So we'll wet the whole paper and then mark horizontal line. So we're gonna just wet the whole paper nicely that there are no puddles on the paper. We just want a plain sheen of wash over the paper. So once the paper is wet, we'll define the horizontal line where we want it, and then we're gonna do up and down motion for dropping the colors, right? And once you start dropping the colors, don't mix them, don't try to blend them. So we're gonna start with lemon yellow, Indian yellow, orange, reds, greens, right? And we're not gonna blend them. So just do up down, motion that I'm showing you guys, right? So we want to drop colors only in this manner, but we don't want to blend them. I don't want any of you to blend any colors. Okay, so this is gonna be our base layer. Every other color that we drop will be on top of this one, and we are gonna let them merge into one another, right? So just tilt your brush and follow the same motion that I am doing in order to do a base layer. So your base layer has to be lemon green color, which is the lightest, and then we're gonna drop colors on top of it, right? So at some places you're gonna drop some oranges, some reds, even some greens, but then don't try to mix them or blend them. That's my only ask from you guys, to enjoy the painting process of this one and don't interfere the watercolor do their job. Okay, so I just don't want us to interfere in the whole process. Let them play with each other, let the water come into contact of each other, and then just enjoy this whole process. Believe me, the art was gonna turn out absolutely beautiful if you can just refrain yourself from blending anything, right? Just kidding. So just go along with that. So as you can see, I have just marked some oranges, some greens, and I have also done some olive green right here. And I've also done a hint of some greens on the top of that orange as well, right? And now let's go a little darker than what we have done. So we again gonna do the same thing. So at the place of oranges, I'm gonna make it darker. At the place of yellow, I'm gonna make it darker. But then I don't want to go over any other thing. So I'm gonna keep orange as orange. I'm gonna keep yellows and yellows. Also remember the strokes, right? So we're gonna do up, down, up, down, up, down. So those are our strokes that we want to maintain. Okay. Believe me, guys, it's gonna be very beautiful when once it turns out, once it like final, it's gonna be very beautiful. So on the yellow, because we did lemon yellow, at some place I did Indian yellow, and then some place I actually did lemon yellow because it's more lighter in color, and I actually wanted some yellows which are lighter in shade, right? So I also went over with olive green because it was looking very dull, and I wanted to keep this whole artwork very bright. Okay, so just go and then put your greens on top of it, because that olive was actually looking very dull. I did not like that whole thing. It was just actually just taking away that whole scenic thing that we are trying to paint here, right? So I just did not like that color which was toning us down. So now this is very interesting take, so that we are trying to paint an autumn reflection where all the trees, right, all the trees are almost turned into autumn colors of yellow, orange, reds, hues, right? But there's only one tree in the middle which is still green. That's what we're trying to paint here, right? Now sky, because my focus is on those trees in the middle and the reflection of the trees, I want to keep sky very plain. Okay, so just do one stroke of blue on top of your page and then just blend it with water. As you come very closer to trees, don't touch anything. Just tilt your paper and let it do the job. So as I said, right, we don't want to merge and blend in this particular painting. That is what we want to refrain us. And then we again do same thing. So we paint the using the bright blue. We do the water also. So as you can see, this is so much diluted version that I'm using, right? I'm not using a very darker. So the color pigment is very less, and the water is lot in this one, because again, as I said, the focus is on the trees, not on the sky or the reflection of the water, right? As you go very near, right, as you go near, just refrain yourself from bending. Just do a up and down motion, as we have done the trees, right? And try to fill those white spots, but then don't try to blend anything. It's, believe me, it's gonna, everything will become normalized once it dries up, and then we do the detail. Okay. See how gorgeous it is already looking, and we have not done any detailing on this. So I told you, right, this is very brightest, very quickest, and a very fun project to do. I had too much fun while doing this one. Okay, so now I feel ki there are some areas which are more lighter and go little dark. So I'm just gonna be creating a horizon line. Just keep a horizon line in your mind, and then if you see, it should not be half of the paper, slightly above than the half of your paper. Then it become meets the eye level, and it just actually looks very pretty in that sense. Okay. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we paint some reflections on the water. So you're gonna do horizontals. As till now we're going up and down movement, right? But now you're gonna do that zigzag horizontal movements of your brush to put some reflections on the water. Okay, you can pick some dark green shade or brown shade. At the bottom, you can see pick some dark blue shades of the same color that you have put to paint the reflection on the water. Okay, but then do everything when it's wet on wet, so because we don't want to do a hard definition of those colors. Okay, and then also try to lift some color so it just gives a feeling of those whites basically. So my paper is still wet, and I think it's gonna dry up a little lighter in shade. So I'm gonna do another layer of the same color that we have dropped, right? So maintain same thing. So you're gonna drop some greens on top of greens, orange on top of orange, and then yellows on top of orange. And then use that same flicking motion that we did in the previous artwork, right? To paint that reflection. So now you can see I'm just taking more pigmented paint now, right? I'm not using the diluted version of the paint. And again, go in a flicking motion, up motion towards the sky, and then down for the reflection. Okay. So again, maintain same thing. So you're gonna do orange on top of orange, greens on top of greens, yellows on top of yellows. So same thing. We don't want to disturb anything that we have done or achieved so far. So basically, my water is kept on the right side, and my paper towel is also on the right side. I forgot to capture all that in camera this time. Maybe next time I'll remember to capture all these things in camera so that you can see when I'm washing my brush and when I'm not washing the brush. So yeah, I'll try to remember this all when I record another class. See how if you do this flicking motion, it just creates those trees, right? So basically, it is visible that these are trees in some way, right? And if you have noticed, I just washed my brush, dipped in water, soaked in paper towel, and then I lifted the lemon yellow color. And that is what every one of you want to remember when I said that we don't want to blend here, right? In this particular artwork, we don't want to blend anything. So we want to make sure that we are following. So we just let watercolors do their job. And I just wanted to keep those trees segregated because that is our focus is, right. I want to show in midst of everything that one tree is still green and the everything else is autumny. Which is what makes this article perfectly beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna keep this for drying now because I can't go ahead and add the details on this one if it's not dry. So let's wait for this one to be dry. Okay, so now the artwork is dry and we're gonna add some trees by the dab dab motion. We have learned this one in couple of lessons earlier, right? In the earlier class projects. We again gonna do same thing. But now one thing that you all have to remember is you pick a one shade darker or two shade darker from the color that is already on your paper. Okay, because as this dries up it's gonna be lighter, so just pick up 2 3 shades darker green than what you already have on a paper, and then try to create a tree like structure. Now you can also choose to do a pine tree shape over here, or you can also choose to have a normal tree. It's just up to you. So you can just play with what kind of tree you want it to look like. So I just went ahead and then I did normal for this one. And use your dry brush technique here to paint the reflection. Okay, because we don't want to exactly paint same thing, so you're gonna do dry brush to paint the reflection. Now mix a little bit of red on your orange to go a one shade darker. As I said, right, you want to use a color which is a shade darker than we have already painted. So if you mix your scarlet with your orange, it's gonna be a shade darker, and then you can use that particular color to paint the orange trees. Basically, the trees on the orange section. And then for your yellows, you are gonna use lemon yellow because I think that's the darker version of the yellow that we currently have on the paper. Or you can also go cadmium yellow, I think. Okay, see, so this is how, so once we complete this, it's almost like end of the artwork, right? I told you this is the quickest one that you can do. And maybe try another one where instead of painting the trees in a normal way, you do pine trees. Yeah. So also notice that I have just spread the results of my brush. I just spread it so that I can just paint trees more faster than I'll be by using normal. And always do this downward movement for painting the reflection. Dry brush is the best technique for this reflection. Okay, so I'm gonna just speed up now because this is how we're gonna do. It's the same technique that we are following, and continue doing same thing for all your oranges. Okay, now let's do some yellow. So as I said, we are gonna pick some Indian yellow to do all the oranges. Okay. Yeah, so Indian yellow would be darker because we did a lemon yellow. It's the lightest shade, and then on top of it, we did a lemon yellow. If you have already used Indian yellow at the starting, then I recommend you to go choose or yellow ochre for doing the yellow on top of it, or mix your Indian yellow with slight bit of orange and do go on top of the Indian yellow if you have the base as Indian yellow. Okay, and then same flickering motion to do your reflections. See how beautiful it is looking. Now the only thing that it's not still depicting is the reflection in the water. So we are gonna make some ripples that actually shows the reflection in the water. Okay. Wow, I just love this one. Nature can be so beautiful. Okay, so you're gonna take some white gouache here because we want to paint some reflections, right? And if you're noticing, I'm just moving my hand from left to right in a very light manner. I'm not going putting any pressure on it. I'm just moving from left to right. So where my brush touches, it touches. Where it doesn't touches, it doesn't touches. So don't bother about if it is coming out thick, thin. Just try to paint it very light because it just gives you proper perfect score, perfect shape of the reflection that you're trying to achieve. And that's it, voila, we are done. I love how this one has turned out, and this is so super bright. Thank you all for joining me in this lesson. I hope you are as excited as I am. We are already at day 11 now. I can't wait to see your class projects for this one. So drop in other as well for with applying to you one. I would be happy to check them out. See you in the next one.